Hello everybody and welcome back to another CB Showtunes tutorial. Now today what we're going to do is we will be beginning a new tutorial series on creating a video game. Now we'll be going off the core concept of making this a resource gathering game and then build on that. If you have any ideas that you want implemented into this game, make sure that you leave a comment inside the comment section below and we will possibly be able to add those into this game. So let's go and get started with this video and we'll see how well it goes. So first things first, we're going to set up our project folder. Now this is something that I've done with most of all my games. So if you want to follow along, that'd be awesome. If you just want to watch and see how I do it, then that's cool too. So the first thing we want to do is create a folder called scenes. Now this folder is going to specifically be used for any form of scene inside our game. This could be maps and menus. So we're going to go into this folder, create another subfolder, and just like I called it, we're going to call one maps, and then we're going to create a new one, and we're going to call it menus. Perfect. Now we're going to our maps folder, and we're going to press Control S. I believe it's going to save it. Okay, there we go. We're going to drag that into our maps folder. If you don't have a scene right there, then it will automatically pull up the save as, and then you just select where you want to store it. So we want this into our map scene. Once you have your map scene open, we're going to go ahead and create some more items. So we're going to create a folder, and we're going to call this imports. Inside imports, we're going to right click, we're going to press create, we're going to create a subfolder called characters. We're going to create a new subfolder, and we're going to call this buildings. And we're going to create another subfolder, and we're going to call this items. Now we can continue adding more subfolders, and that'd be pretty awesome as well. We're specifically going to go into characters, and we're going to create a folder called players or player, because this is going to be like a single player. So let's go there, erase that just a player. And we're also going to create a subfolder called normal enemy. And depending on what you have as your normal enemy, you can create a subfolder called enemies and then store these there. So we will do that, enemies. Go ahead and drag our normal enemy into that. And then we're going to create one more folder called boss enemy. There we go. Perfect. So now we have that set up for our characters and our imports. Let's go ahead and head back over to our assets folder. We're going to create a new folder. We're going to call this scripts. We're going to head inside there, and this is where I like to put a folder called testing. You can put this folder anywhere that you want to, so if you want to drag it over to the assets folder, you could do that as well. So sort of like this. So let's go and go here. And then just drag it up, something like that. But we're going to keep it inside the script folder. Now I'm going to import a movement character script. This is one that I personally came up with. You can also just download the asset from the asset store for packages, characters, and then just download the 2D person. That'll work just the same. And we're going to create a 3D object. We're going to select capsule. If you already got the the FPS character from the asset package, then you won't need this right here. It will automatically have it. You just need to select the prefab. Okay. So let's go ahead and create our environment. So I'm going to go over here to the assets folder. We're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call this terrain. Now, the reason why we are creating this terrain is because there is specifically terrain objects that will save inside your project folder. And we don't want it just to save in imports because it's not imported. Okay, so go to your hierarchy, right click and find create 3D object. And then you're going to look for terrain and select that. Perfect. Now we're going to roll out, and you're going to notice this is quite big. I mean, that's our character right there. This is a pretty big map. So what we're going to do is we're going to shrink it down to half. So you're going to find this little cog inside the inspector. We're going to roll down, and we're going to change this to about 250 in widths, 250 in lengths, and 300 in heights. We're also going to realign the position, so we're going to take half of 250, so negative 125 on the X and negative 125 on the Z. And perfect. Now our character should be directly inside the center of the map. Right, so we need to get this map textured so we can see whenever we're modeling it. So we're going to first drag that into that. Okay, and we're going to create a new folder, and this is going to be called textures. Instead of the texture folder, we're going to create a couple more subfolders. We're going to call one GUI. We're going to call another, let's just say environment. We're going to go inside there, right click and import new asset. And we're going to look up pictures maybe. Maybe, I might not have any inside here. I guess oh, here it is. So we're going to import this grass texture. And with this grass texture, we're not going to do anything with it. Now, if you were using GUI, which we'll get into later, then you change this from being just what it is at default to Sprite 2D UI. But since it's going to be for our environment, we're not worried about that. So we're going to go over to our terrain, and let's go and go to Paint, Edit Texture, Add Texture, and just drag that in there, and select Add. Perfect. So we're going to quickly sculpt this. I'm going to actually speed things up a little bit so we can get this knocked out. Alright, so we finally got the map set up pretty good, and we're going to test it out. So we're first going to save to make sure that this thing doesn't crash. Then we're going to press play, and let's go ahead and see how it looks. We're going to also resize this. So let's go to free aspect. Perfect. Okay, so as you can see, our terrain is a pretty decent size, has a bunch of bumps and bruises. And of course we could actually exit this area if we wanted to, which is not what we really do want. So we're going to set up some boundaries as the last part of this tutorial for this specific section. So let's go ahead and do that. So on our terrain, we're going to just change the name to ground. And from there, we're going to right click on this, create a 3D object, find a cube. Okay, perfect. So if we could find that, all right. Now this will put it at the 0 axis on this right here. So actually we're going to delete that cube and we're going to create a brand new cube. And we're going to reset it. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and scale this cube up to where it reaches the max that this is. So we're going to look up on the x-axis, and I believe it'd be 5. Nope, it's 250. Yeah. So we're going to scale it out to 250 on the x. We're going to keep the z the same for now. And let's go ahead and raise it up on the z-axis by, let's do, we're going to give a little leeway. So let's say 115. Perfect. And then we're just going to call this barrier. And you could always save naming them later, but I just do it just because. So this will be in negative 115. Then we're going to copy this. We're going to put this at 0. put this at 115 on the X. Switch the X and Z axis on the scaling. Perfect. Then we're going to do this one more time. Doing that. Negative. Oh, not negative. 250 on the scaling. Negative on the X axis. That's what we needed. Okay, perfect. So now if we select all of our barriers, drag it underneath the ground, then we can do that. Now we just need to resize the height. So we can do this as high as what we want it to be. We're going to scale by, let's just say 20. Raise it up, let's say 50. No, 20. 30. See this, guys? We got to go one at a time, one at a time. All right, so we're going to roll in, make sure that our environment is actually sealed in. Perfect. And then we're going to simply turn off the mesh renderer, which is super sweet. So let's go and close those up, press play one more time. And we're going to run out here to go see if we can get up there. So here we go. As you can see, we cannot go past it. And if you notice, we have this big open expansion. We're going to simply add some water over there, so then we're not going to be dealing with just seeing nothing. So don't worry about that for now. That looks pretty sweet. Alright, that's it for this tutorial right here. And so in the next tutorial, we are going to be adding in our environment, such as trees and grass and resource nodes as well. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, please like, subscribe, check out some other videos. If you have any questions regarding this video or other videos, make sure to leave it inside the comment section below. And if you want to see one of your ideals implemented into this game, make sure that you leave that comment inside the comment section below as well. I'll see you guys next time.